Peace. What up, y'all? The name of this video is the healthiest food items for Black people in America. Based on peer-reviewed research and nutritional science, here are the healthiest food items specifically beneficial for Black people in America, addressing documented health disparities and nutritional needs. Leafy greens. Number 1, leafy greens. Collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, kale. Black Americans face disproportionately high rates of hypertension and kidney disease. These green leafy vegetables are extraordinarily high in potassium, which helps lower blood pressure. They're high in vitamin K, folate, iron, and calcium. The pot liquor, the cooking liquid left over after you cook these greens, contains leached vitamins and minerals. Save it. 2, black-eyed peas and legumes. West African in origin, these legumes and beans peas provide 8 grams of fiber per cup, nearly 1/3 of your daily need. They also provide folate, magnesium, plant protein, and low glycemic index carbs, essential for diabetes prevention. Black Americans have 60% higher diabetes risk, so they need this. They also provide iron without the saturated fat of red meats. So you can get your iron from your lentils and your black-eyed peas there. Number 3, sweet potatoes and yams. Sweet potatoes and yams are rich in vitamin A, such as beta-carotene. They're rich in vitamin C, manganese, copper, and fiber. The African heritage diet emphasizes these tubers as staple foods. They provide complex carbohydrates with lower glycemic impact than regular white potatoes when prepared without excess sugar. Number 4, fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Black Americans have higher cardiovascular disease risk, and these fishes provide omega-3 fatty acids such as EPA and DHA for heart health. Sardines and small bony fish are specifically recommended because they provide calcium and vitamin D, critical minerals, given that 75% of non-Hispanic Black Americans are vitamin D deficient versus 20% of whites due to melanin reducing vitamin D synthesis from sunlight. So we got to get our sunlight too, y'all. That's another important aspect of this. Number 5, peanuts and tree nuts. Traditional to African heritage cuisine, peanuts provide protein, healthy fats, and niacin, and resveratrol. Regular nut consumption is associated with reduced heart disease risk and improved cholesterol profile. Number 6, whole grains such as brown rice, barley, teff, oats, and sorghum. The African heritage diet pyramid emphasizes whole grains as foundational. They provide fiber, B vitamins, magnesium, and chromium, nutrients that African American children and adolescents frequently fall below recommended levels for. Number 7, fortified dairy or calcium-rich alternatives. Black adults consume less than half the recommended dairy servings, partly due to higher lactose intolerance rates. However, dairy provides vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, and vitamin A, nutrients Black Americans are most deficient in. Fortified plant milks, leafy greens, beans, and almonds are essential alternatives to this if you are lactose intolerant. Number 8, hibiscus tea or roselle tea. Traditional throughout the African diaspora, Hibiscus tea has clinically proven antihypertensive effects. Studies show it can significantly lower systolic and diastolic blood pressure, particularly relevant given that 44% of Black Americans have hypertension, among the highest globally. Number 9, garlic, onions, ginger, and traditional herbs. These aromatic vegetables reduce the need for sodium or salt. African Americans are disproportionately salt sensitive, with sodium reduction producing 4 to 8 mmHg/BP reductions. They also provide antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Cerasee or bitter melon and other traditional herbs have documented glucose lowering effects. You know? Number 10, berries and colorful fruit. Black Americans and Black youth and adults frequently fall below recommendations for vitamin C, vitamin E, and fiber. Berries provide anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants, vitamin C, and fiber with low glycemic impact, supporting both cardiovascular and metabolic health. You know, and here in my notes, it has like the vitamins that Black people are deficient in the most. It says 75% vitamin D deficiency. So I think that's the highest one we need. So that's the fatty fishes, the fortified foods, and the sardines. Next, it goes over the hypertension statistics. So for that, you want to eat your leafy greens, your hibiscus tea, and low sodium preparation food. Next, it speaks on the diabetes risk. For this, you want your legumes, your whole grains, and your sweet potatoes. Next, it speaks about high kidney disease rates. That's your potassium-rich food, your greens, and your beans. It speaks about CVD mortality as well. For that, you want your omega-3s from fish. You want to eat nuts, and you want to reduce your saturated fats. You know, it also speaks of lower intake of fiber, calcium, magnesium, vitamin K, vitamins A, D, and E. Uh, and it basically says, all of the foods that I just spoke on or that are in the list, they're going to help with that. The African Heritage Diet Framework speaks about that too. The Old Ways Heritage African Diet Pyramid, developed by nutritionalists and historians, provide the evidence-based structure, plant forward, emphasizing greens, tubers, beans, nuts, whole grain, fruit, the whole vegetable, the fish, clean foods with minimal dairy and limited sweets as well. You know, research shows this pattern reduces blood pressure, improves diabetes markers, and supports healthy weight. You know, so I'm just gonna finish it off with I'm saying, with the cherry on top. Eating like your ancestors can help you lower your risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes, cancers, asthma, glaucoma, kidney disease, and depression. It's the real. It's been real. Shout out to the chosen. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no time for no coons or crackers. If y'all want to eat right, follow that as like a basic, guide. You can remix it and spice it up how you want, but always try to eat healthy. You know what I'm saying? I always encourage that, even on the pages that they deleted off of YouTube. These fucking crackers. I always encourage our people to eat healthy. Stop eating all that swine. Stop eating all them fucking pig guts and shit. That shit ain't good for you, man. You know you are what you eat. You don't want to eat no pig guts. You don't want to be no pig guts, man. You know, eating all this red meat and stuff, that's bad for your heart. You know what I'm saying? That some of that stuff even causes what I've been researching lately, cardio calcium, where your arteries and stuff they get built up with this calcium and ish. Just follow the guidelines, y'all. Eat healthy. If you need more info, hit me up. It's the real.